Hello, hola. It is Bobby
And Cedric.
of Aging Grateful, and this video that we are doing today
Is the number one question we get asked, and the number one challenge that it seems like everybody has
Yes.
is how to generate income living abroad.
Stay tuned as we discuss this. Okay, as we stated, we are Aging Grateful, and for those of you who may be new to our channel, welcome. We actually talk about retirement planning because that's what we're in the midst of, our move abroad journey, and all things about being grateful about the aging process. So
That's right.
this video, we do get asked this quite a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And listen, if we had the answers, the true answers, like we need to start a business. We need to start a business on helping people financially be able to move abroad. And so since we have this question already asked, we're going to try and dive into this a bit.
Yeah, I think the first thing is you have to shift your perspective of money and financing and all those type of things with jobs, because we're so used to working a job 9 to 5
Oh, yeah.
with a company for X amount of years, and we do the 401k, we do the, all the stuff that we do.
Or we don't.
Or we don't.
Yeah.
But we're used to having that steady paycheck from a company.
And let's be the first to say this. It's okay if that's the route that you
Absolutely.
feel comfortable with and you decide to take. However, there are some of us who can think a little bit differently and should if you are looking to move abroad. Because back in the day, you used to have like a pension and all this stuff, and this is some of the reason why you stayed with a company. You did your 30 years or whatever, but that's not the case anymore, right?
No, most companies, you're pretty much on your own as far as retirement. They usually offer some type of match on the 401k and those type of things. But other than that, if you're not putting in there, they're not going to care one way or another.
Realistically, if they want you gone,
you're fired.
Yeah, regardless of how long you've been there, how loyal you are. You have to start using that as a resource and as a tool, rather than looking at it as like a long-term career type thing, in my opinion. You can, if you're in a job you like and it's a career move, that's fine, but use that as a resource or as a stepping stone to build upon to make this process work for you.
and this is strictly for those of you who are looking to move abroad.
Right.
The thing is that you actually have a skill.
Yes.
They hired you to do something specific. The question to ask yourself is, can you take said skill and use that in order to either maneuver to another company, or building your own business, or contracting yourself out? This may be a way of you being able to generate income in order to move abroad.
Yeah, and a lot of these places, for example, in Mexico, you can, if you're renting a place for, let's say, $700 a month, that's $8,400 a year. Can you generate that just off of the skills that you already have? It doesn't take a lot, and it may not even be skills related to your job. Maybe you have some passion that maybe you like to cook.
A hobby.
A hobby, yeah. Maybe you like to cook. I think we get caught up in the frame of this dollar amount, right? I got to have this 40, 50, 60, whatever $1,000 salary. So I don't want to go, cook this food, because I may not only get a couple of $100s from it.
But that's what we're taught in the United States.
Right.
We're taught to go for the highest maximum dollar amount or salary that we can get, right? And be proud of that. but being proud of it so that you can buy more stuff, that you can get more things, to be more in debt. And that's the mindset that we have experienced ourselves, and is actually something that's just status quo in, we can say in the United States. We don't know any of the other, other countries and how that works, but definitely something that drives in the United States. The thing is that being abroad, you may be able to live a really great quality of life on less. And we don't think about that. You think about moving abroad, we're thinking about taking this, this 6-figure income with us, and we can ball out. And if that's what you choose to do, that's fine. But the reality of the matter is, you may not need that. You used the example, about $700 a month, right? And that's just we're talking about for just a roof over your head. $700 a month to rent a place for. We're just saying maybe take a break, restructure, figure this thing out. What we're trying to do is help you get abroad quicker, right? So if that $700 a month is rent, and you want to take a break for a year, and we're talking about not just single people, but married couples,
right,
families. If you know that $8,400, as our daughter is walking past in our recording, if you notice that $8,400 is something that's doable for you, whether you're saving that up, or dare we say where you can get it from?
Listen, let me go there with this. So, if that's really your desire, if moving abroad and trying to start, this lifestyle is really your desire, you can use your job as a tool, right? It's just money at the end of the day, right? It's just an income generating tool. And a lot of companies, don't allow people to work out of the US, right? There's a lot of people that are working out of the US on VPN that their companies don't know about. They're not on YouTube because they don't want to be out in the open, right?
Right, correct.
But I know a lot of people personally that
I will say this.
Hold on. I know a lot of people personally that work jobs remotely, and their companies don't know about it, but they're not in the limelight, right? I know a lot of people that work remotely and they get caught and they get fired. And you know what they do? They go get another job and do the same thing, because for them, all they're doing is bringing in an income, right? I need this income so I can, live. So they're looking at these jobs as tools to get income, and they take chances on these type of things, right?
Oh,
and that may be something that you have to look at. If you're looking at it as, I'm gonna stay loyal to this company because they're gonna be loyal to me,
that's not gonna happen.
That's definitely not gonna happen. That's definitely not gonna happen. And if you got the skill set to get a job, you got the skill set to get another job, you got the skill set to get another job. It's a skill set that you have.
Bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself.
That's pretty much what we're saying. Bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself.
Also, another thing to consider is, and I know that we'll probably get some flack or feedback from this specifically, but if you need to take a chance and jump to a place and figure out if this is for you, maybe the option of 401k and taking that money out, like we said, $8,400 for a year that you know that you'll have for housing, and then whatever you have done your research on or determined for budget purposes for that year to live on top of that $8,400, maybe take that money out of your 401k. Yes, I said it. For the year. And take that time and figure out what it is you want to do within that year. Try things. Friends of mine and I, we talked yesterday about the fact of failing. Fail.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Let's celebrate the failure. Try these different things. Maybe we were talking about maybe some options of jobs or type of things that you could do, here in Mexico or abroad, such as like you mentioned cooking,
Yeah.
and we know some people who are doing that
we know
now.
people cook now, and they got their stuff in the stores, and they make
Absolutely.
income from that. And I don't know how much they make, and it may be a lot, it may not be much, but it's an income. It's a
Money.
something, right?
It's money. Absolutely. You were mentioning about IT.
Yeah. So if you have an IT skill, I know somebody who I've heard of somebody here that goes to coffee shops, and people come in and pay him to show them how to use the computer, show them how to configure VPNs, show them how to do these things. These things are skill sets, set up their thing. There's always somebody looking for somebody to set up some type of VPN, set up something. Internet, yeah. And it may not seem like nothing. Okay, so I go here and I get $75, I get $100. It's not worth my time. Well, it is. Because it's a way, you never know what that can turn into, right?
Absolutely. If you're charging $100 and you get 7 people for the month,
there go your rent.
There's your rent. Absolutely.
Right. And going back to what you're saying about the 401k stuff, so if you did that for a year, and let's say you rent your house out,
if you had a house, in the States,
in the States, whatever, you rent it out, and for that year, you take that money, you come over here, at least you got a roof over your head. You bring your job with you, you VPN, you do whatever, you got something to build upon, and if it doesn't work, guess what happens at the end of that year? You go back to your house, you regroup, and you try another strategy.
Or not.
Or not. Or you stay and figure it out.
Absolutely. And that's another option. Another thing that we're saying this because we have shared this with other people as well as options who really, their heart is really wanting to be abroad, right? They want to leave, and they're trying to figure out the fastest, quickest, most strategic way of doing this. And so our hearts go out to you guys, because definitely we understand. And so we're thinking of these things right out of the box and sharing them with you in real time as we're talking and discussing about it. Another thing that's really something that I'm not seeing here, but I think that would be a great business venture, would be like senior care.
Yeah.
Senior care, and let me explain what I mean by that. There are a lot of people who tend to move abroad, and this could be anywhere, not just Mexico, but that are retired, have done their duty and their service to their companies, or serve their time somewhere, and then but they are older. They're in their 70s, they're in their 80s, some of them maybe even in their 90s, and they have chosen to live abroad, and some of the things can be challenging for people as you age. So someone who's there to maybe cook for them, or take them to their doctor's appointments, or making sure they're taking their medication, helping them with grocery shopping, or things like that around their home. Senior care is definitely something I think that we overlook, but is a necessary component to moving abroad. And that might be another video for another day about seniors living abroad. But someone could start a business actually helping seniors to be able to live their best life while being abroad, because they don't want to stay where they were either.
Yeah.
So that's another option. We talked about maybe educator, a trainer, or something like that.
Yeah, you have a skill, and yes, where you're from, especially if you're in the U.S., you may not particularly be able to make a lot of money off of your skill, or you may not be able to do a lot with the money off of your skill. But abroad, that may not be the case.
Yeah. There may be a need.
There may be a need, but the income that you need is not as much, right? And I don't know why I keep going back to this. Maybe somebody needs to hear it. But with these jobs, take a vacation, right? Take your laptop with you. Get a VPN, log in, and see what happens. Just say, hey, I was logging out, check the email of something. Hey, I just have to log in and check my email for something. If something. But I'm telling you.
Are you telling them
Yes,
this?
I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
If this is something you want to do, you're going to have to take a chance. And if you're trying to be loyal to a company, they are not going to return that. It's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
I see it so many times. We have rifts in our company all the time.
So many people, you have to really think about this from the perspective. A company does not have a heartbeat. It does not have empathy. It does not have any of those because it is an organized establishment. And the powers that be have already determined the rules, regulations, and all of that. So it is a one size fit all. It is never an individualized approach to a corporation. So whereby your specific situation may be needs some attention, the corporation does not have rules and regulations around that.
Yeah, they do, and there's loopholes. Let me give you a loophole. If your company's saying you can't take the laptop out of the country, leave the laptop in the country, right? You could leave the laptop in the U.S. if that's the thing. Yeah, and then you could just come remote, VPN back into the U.S. into your laptop. Your laptop is in the U.S. What's the problem? I'm just trying to jog your mind on creative ways that people are actually doing this, right? People are actually doing this to have a better life. So
maybe you also need to downsize your living and your quality of life for a bit while you are in the place that you're in, United States or wherever you are watching. And we appreciate you watching us. But maybe that might be the caveat to help you to do it, because what happens is we're obligated. We have responsibilities, whether it's our car notes, whether it's our mortgage, whether it's our rent, whatever it is. There may be a little bit of discomfort that has to happen for you in order to build up said reserve in order for you to take that leap abroad too.
Yeah.
So you don't have to start from the perspective of, oh my God, I need to go and try and figure out how I'm gonna make this extra money. Downsizing may be a great way to be able to do that too. I understand that we don't want to. A lot of times society tells you you need more of things, but maybe in order to have this new life abroad and knowing that you're going to be doing less or having less anyway, you might as well start while you are in a place where you feel comfortable, and then make that leap and that jump.
Yeah. There's so many options, and especially like in the Black community with hair products and all that stuff that skill set that people need. It's a need. It's a need. I personally, this is my personal opinion, I think a lot of that fails when it comes to those type of things is because people come over to Mexico, for example, and they try to charge these prices that they charge in the U.S. I think a lot of that's where a lot of the failure is, and you can't do that. People move abroad for a better quality of life, right? So they didn't move abroad to pay $300 to get some braids, because that's what you charge in the U.S. And that's just a reality of it. So if you can't cut that cost, it's not going to be successful.
Or cut that mindset.
Or cut the mindset. Yeah, it's not going to be successful. You don't need to charge that amount of money.
You want to?
Yeah,
we
get it. Oh yeah, definitely get it. You want to make money. Everybody want to make money, but
yeah, we all do.
But you could still make a decent income or generate a decent amount of money and income without charging these astronomical prices in the U.S. because you feel that there's a need and you're the only one that can do it. Because I'm gonna tell you right this. These women around here just cut their hair off.
Really, babe? Oh my gosh. We let him loose today on this channel.
Listen, they ain't paying these prices, I'm telling you. I don't know how many times I heard.
We have let him loose. The juice is loose today on this channel. Listen, I will just say this. It always starts with mindset.
Yes.
You are going to, a better quality of life for those of you who are looking at quality of life as far as living on less. If you are trying to move abroad and ball out and on the most money that you can, this video is not for you. This video is for someone who maybe is looking to move abroad, start afresh, redefine their life, and look at it a little bit differently from a financial perspective. And that it is okay for you to come and not have, a six-figure income.
Or all this extra disposable income we typically have, in the U.S.
It is okay. It is fine if all you have is $25,000 to live off of for the year. That is fine. That is fine. Live your best life within the confines of the monies that you have. We're just letting you know that you don't need all of this money. And we're also saying that moving abroad doesn't necessarily mean forever.
Right.
For some people, that could be that 1 year could change their lives, get themselves acclimated and straight on a different trajectory as far as career, health, wellness, spirituality, and then they're ready to maybe tap back into the U.S. Mindset or wherever you're from. Or you may find out that this absolutely is the way that you want to live and did not know that you could afford to do it.
Exactly.
And find that in the year. But in the year, you try everything out. You know, like I said, make the failures, make the successes, discover new loves and passions, get your health and wellness together. Take that break, breathe. Especially as married couples too, because I do want to say this, we tend to feel like we have to push every envelope in marriage. Like, okay, it's okay. We're separate, but we're together, right? We're separate, but we're together. It's okay for my husband to be able to take a break. It's okay. You know, we have this stereotype of the head of the household mentality. You know what? We both the heads of the household. We are both in this together. And that means I say, hey, we can live off of $40,000 a year or $25,000 a year. We're going to make it work. We're going to figure this thing out. And I don't know what couples need to hear that today, but men, you need to breathe. Take a break. Redefine your life as well.
Yeah.
Okay? All right? We got this, right?
Yeah.
We in this together, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. Well, a lot of us as women, I know that we want to talk about we take sabbaticals and rests and the soft life and all of that. And I am here for that as well. Please hear me. I'm here for that. But I also want our partners to know, and this is in general, our partners to know as well, you deserve it also. You deserve it.
I get to take off, y'all.
You deserve it. Okay? And you can do that living abroad,
yeah,
right? You can
definitely
do that living abroad because I guarantee you try this in the States, they be like, they're going to call you lazy. They're going to call you what?
Well, not only that, but life is coming at you so fast. Everything's moving so fast. You just, you can't breathe.
Relax, okay? We're on this journey. And we're trying to allow you to see the creative side of the finances, right? And show you a glimpse of it does not require so much to do this.
Yes.
Okay? We want to encourage you. We want to inspire you that you don't have to break the bank to move abroad. And these are some things that we've shared with others and things that we're coming up as we're talking more and more about this, because it is a really big topic for people. This is one of the main things that stop people from moving.
Absolutely.
And we don't want you to feel stuck, nor do we want you to feel alone in this process, because we're figuring this thing out too. This is not just, we're not sharing this just for y'all. We're sharing this because it's us, our friends, and people that reach out to us. This is something that is an ongoing conversation, I think, to be had.
Yeah.
But yes, you can do this.
Good convo.
Can I get my plug in?
Go ahead.
All right. My plug is that I am actually guest speaking at a couple of events that's coming up this year. One of which, because we just talked about redefining your life, we are having a summit, Redefine Your Life Summit. That's going to be August 10th and 11th, virtually, guys, virtually. So I will put the link below. 6 amazing women get to share about the process of being able to redefine your life, change your life, establish a new way of living for you that works best for you. And we're here to share that information about how we have done it and some tips that may help you to be able to do that as well. And then we have a 3-day intensive conference called Move to Mexico Conference. This conference, you do not want to miss this conference either, because it's all about Mexico. We're talking about having access to locals on the ground who have been here, and they're going to share all they know, their wealth, their information about moving to Mexico, as well as those of us who have moved abroad also. You'll hear testimonies. You'll understand more about the residency process, some options of taking care of yourself. We'll talk real estate. I'm going to share some really great tools about renting and buying in Mexico. You're just not going to want to miss this. About creating businesses as well in Mexico. You're going to hear some really great content and information, and it's a blueprint for those of you who want to actually move to Mexico. So I will also place the link below. That is also virtually. Get in. This information is out here, guys. The information is out here. We are here for you, as well as for ourselves, but we're here for you too, sharing our bare bones minimum. We let him off the hook today. Hey. on this conversation, and many more of these to be had. We also have our Patreon also, so feel free to pop over there, chime in, join the conversation as well. And until next time,
deuces.
Deuces.